It worked. It worked. I pumped myself up, slowly progressing energy. And I'm ready. I hyped myself up. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This isn't Dream Talk. It's book club. And listen, you could be here on the screen live with us right now if you so chose. If you wanted to get involved, all you need to do is have 1 million Dream Cat tokens. 1 million Dream Cat tokens, and you can join us. It's cheap. Get the book, Truthful Living. Join in the conversation. You can come in the back end. We have 9 slots. That's what we did in the past. We're going to do it again in the future. But for now, crypto's down, so it's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow open to all. Thank you all for being here. Hello, Libre. What's up, dude? I thought you already went to sleep, as Dave would say. So GN, El Gato Satoshi, Super Bass Cat in the building. What's up? Welcome. Spunky, not going to say that out loud, but hey, welcome in, dude. And Bubba Gumpski. Welcome, guys. Welcome. So let me tell you what we have in store today. This is the Dreamers Library Book Club, and we're talking about a juicy topic, adversity, the hidden blessing that changes everything. Could you actually believe that adversity could be for your good? I would actually love to hear. I know Canware's been through some things. I know everyone's been through some things. Not everyone talks about them. Not everyone projects them. I've been through many things myself. And this chapter that we're going to dive into talks about how the adversity in your life, in your dream chasing journey, the adversity in your crypto Web3 journey. Hello? Bags not down 90%. Hello? Anyone else out there? Some bags up, some down. If you got in really early, you're still doing all right. Hello, YouTube friends. What does that say? Skunk boys. Cornhole. Well, welcome in, Godzilla. Good to have you here. All right, anywho, welcome in. I hope you enjoyed the tunes. Hope you're hanging out with us in the VC. We're going to dive in the book. Your participation makes it even more fun. If you have thoughts, inputs, want to chime in, please do. This is a short chapter, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to throw you a wild card. This is going to be the first time ever that I actually read you most of it, but the reading alone should probably only take like 10 minutes because it's a story. So there's just a few little nuggets in the front and the back. There's a story. I want to share it with you. And then we can talk about real stories. We can talk about real situations and see where the night takes us on this lovely Saturday night inside. Okay. Hey, thanks for the compliment. Appreciate it. Nice hair. Hey, I'll take that. Still got what I got. Okay, anyways, I digress. Let's not waste time. Truthful Living, Chapter 7, Adversity, a Blessing in Disguise. Right off the rip, my old boss, by the way, the first boss I ever worked for, is the co-author of this book with Napoleon Hill, one of the greatest self-help teachers of all time. He says, when it all goes wrong, at the end of failure is the beginning of success. But most people are wallowing deep in self-pity and anger. I know that's real. Self-pity, get on the pity train. Oh, let's poor me. Let's beat myself up. And once they're beating themselves up and have this anger, they fail to see the golden ticket right in front of their face, the Willy Wonka in the chocolate bar golden ticket. And here's the deal. It is up to you and your self-determination to get it going again. Napoleon Hill's positive perspective on adversity will give you hope, the hope that you're looking for, the answers that you're looking for to whatever befalls you, whatever plagues you on your way to success. Moving forward here, we're going to read to succeed. And so more people can join the party. If you haven't already, please retweet. Hey, Bubba Gump, I don't know if you're still here, dude. Shout out to Bubba Gump. Shout out to Canware. I always say, hey, retweet, drop a comment. Both of you last week on Dream Talk reposted the entire stream as an original tweet. Is that a new thing? That's like mega hype. That's like you put your name on it. That is huge love. And to the Ninja Cats, I owe you guys a stream. So you let me know the best one to come to, and I'm there. Okay. Here it goes. Friend, do not become discouraged. Do not become disappointed. Do not become disheartened if the seemingly cruel hand of fate knocks you off your feet. Maybe the blow will prove to be the greatest blessing that ever came your way. When the dark clouds of despair have darkened the pathway of life's progress, just remember that behind each cloud is a silver lining if you only learn how to see it. Wow, wow, wow. And from here, he's going to go into different stories, and we're going to go into them. But right off the rip, let's just touch it for a second and reflect. Who here, because when you're listening to this, look, I don't just want to like teach you something, right? I feel like the point is twofold here. Point number one is self-reflection in real time. The whole point of book club is to actively be involved, to actively like not just listen passively, right? But take into account what he's saying. Think about your world, because you listening, you are the most important person in the world. You make your world run. Okay. Without you, your world is nothing. Your family can't win. Like, you are the main character in your story. So take this on head on and think maybe of those hard times. And if you're transparent enough and willing enough, I would love to hear in the comments about a hard time that you had and how you overcame it, because a lot of people out there may be going through it right now. They may be down on their luck. I know some crypto first timers are discouraged. We had some OGs who came and left down on their luck. Oh man, this crypto stuff's not for me. Man, they just need to understand. We learn these principles so we can stay in the game, because these are not taking us out. They're building us up. I will be transparent and share 2, 3 of my stories somewhere near the end, but I'd love to hear yours. So don't be discouraged. Don't be disappointed. Don't be disheartened when life basically kicks your ass and throws you a curveball and it looks like all hope is lost. Behold, there is a silver lining. Silver linings in everything, okay? We'll apply it here to Dream Cat because we're dreamers. You see Dream in the corner here if you didn't know, Light Chill, Dream Cat, the most successful cat in the world. Anything and everything you could ever want to achieve, he's done. And what we're going to do with this character is we're going to build him into the voice of dreams on planet Earth, the main voice of dreams, the marquee voice of dreams. And this is him, handsome in a suit and tie, going to inspire the world. Truly, 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 truly. Maybe you'll be here to see it. I don't know. Maybe. So in Dream Cat, for example, here we have this project. Some of you, or if you're listening, chances are you're an investor. If you're tuning in for YouTube, welcome. We hope you learned something. Please subscribe and hang out with us. But if you invest in this project, we had some good times and we had some bad times. And there was a moment in time where I did a stream just like this. We were excited. Wow, look at the quality. We got live streams in the book. It's going to be a hit. And we were vulnerable. Someone hacked into the first ever live stream I ever did. I was vulnerable myself. This computer, by the way, is a blank. Okay. Now it's all set up. Now it has the protections. It's just a blank. People may try to hack it. No point. It's nothing here. This is specifically for the streams. We learned lessons. Okay. But on my old computer, I had the Phantom wallet and the other wallet. And yeah, someone just somehow hacked in just by going live. They drained, I don't even want to say how much money it was. They drained a big chunk of my own holdings, basically all my cat projects, all my cat meme coins on Solana, all my meme coins on Solana were sold in one rip. On top of that, 1/3 of the Dream Cat wallet was sold. If you don't know the history on this, I think we're about 500,000 market cap. And this took us down to like 12,000, 18,000. This was a huge hit because it was a huge wallet. We had supply control. So it was a huge wallet. And if I wasn't live, you wouldn't have believed me. You thought I'd be a scammer. 20 people were there. They watched. And we've just been continuing on since then. The times will roll. And now in hindsight, I can see, wow. At the time, people said, are you going to relaunch? This project's over. Think what you want to think. And I said, no, we will not relaunch. Why? Because our chart is our history. There is a story behind the life journey for you, right? And it's the story that makes everything flashy, that makes like your resilience through the hardship is what people want to buy. And I'm not even trying to say, let's sell it and let's package it. No, you are a dreamer. You are a person going out there. Maybe you want to create something. Maybe you want to be a part of something. Like, you are shaping your path. Well, people are valuing, I guess, their opinion of you, their respect of you. The world does the same based on what you've been through, right? It's not about like how good you've done. It's more power if you've been up to the highest mountain, kicked off the highest mountain, and then you came back. Some people have done it 2-3 times. Some people reinvent themselves. Some people like Robert Downey Jr., who you guys know is Iron Man, right? The late, great Iron Man. Did you guys know that before he got the role as Iron Man, he got into some trouble? Maybe it was drug trouble, something like that, something with crime. I'm pretty sure he went to prison and his whole career seemed over. Robert Downey Jr., let me pull him up so you can get a visual in case you don't know who the real Iron Man is. Let's just go to eBay. Easy. Boom, bam, bang. This guy, surely you know this guy. This guy right here, Iron Man, right? The guy who played this role was previously in jail, whole career cooked, all was lost, and he got this role. And guess what? He wasn't the main character in this role. He was paid like $200K or $500K, and Terrence Howard, another big time actor, was supposed to be Iron Man, but he crushed it. He was ready for the opportunity. He didn't let his past hold him back. He kept the door open. He came back in the game, and he was so good at his role that they're like, man, we're sorry. Like it just vibes so good. He was ready for the opportunity. It's going to go to him. And he made so much freaking money when they got to Iron Man 2, 3, 4, the Avengers, all these superhero movies. What a comeback. Used adversity, didn't let him hold him back. I know so many people today who are uber successful, millionaires, used to be addicted to crack, used to be sleeping in a bathtub. All the stories you can find. Everyone's been through something, but the dreamers of the world, the winners of the world, handle it and they get back up and they continue forward. And that's what we're going to read next about some of these stories from Napoleon Hill himself. And you're going to see how the hardship became his greatest blessing and how that can apply to you too. No way. The air ice, are you encouraging? I never get encouragement from YouTube. Wow. That is really nice. Most people on YouTube are mean. So we have X and YouTube combined. So like X, Twitter is where most of our people are. But yeah, if 16 people are watching on YouTube, that's cool. I'm glad you're one of them. I hope you can benefit from this message. You're probably going to experience hard things in your life sometime. Shamil, what's going on, man? Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. All right, upwards and onwards. Story time. 2 men established and built up an enormously successful commercial institution. Get that out of the way. They own the stock in the company about equally. One of the men, who had lots of initiative, began selling off some of his stock. Thus enjoying for personal use a large amount of cash from the sale. His associate in the business, who didn't possess quite so much initiative, wanted to sell some of his personal stock. He thought, I'm trying to like paraphrase it because it's written in old time English, but when I do that, I'm just going to stumble. So I might have to read it. This originally was written so long ago. So if it's wordy, bear with me. I will paraphrase it where I can. His associates in the business, who didn't possess quite as much wit, wanted to sell some of his stock too, so he could get some cash. But not a dollar could he sell. He appealed to his partner, who was finding a ready market for his stock, trying to find someone to buy it, right? Let's get rid of it. Let's sell it. But the partner refused. This refusal resulted in a serious disagreement between these 2 men, which finally ended in a complete dissolution of the business relations. Basically, they were equal partners in a business. They had this disagreement and they said, screw you. I'm out of here. It's over between us. Now, let us see what happens next. The one man who could not find a market to sell his stock was the fortunate one in the final crisis. The one with the ready initiative, who sold all his stock, who cashed out and got his money, sold with it his voice and his power in the company. When the climax was reached in their disagreement, the one who couldn't sell his stock naturally had, by force of circumstances, by the way things ended up being, control of the business. So he used his power to his own salvation and to the great detriment of his associate by voting him out of the presidency of the corporation and voting himself into the office. The fact that he couldn't sell his stock later became a blessing in disguise. Now, that's a little slow story, old English business, but you can see he wanted to exit, he wanted to cash out, he wanted to get money. The tables turned, and the guy who did cash out and got the short-term money actually got the short-term end of the stick, because this guy, because he had equity, because he had stock, he had power, and ended up being a blessing in disguise for him. Now, a young man who was a president of a corporation which was making a lot of money trusted his banker too far by borrowing money to grow the business. The banker wanted this young man's interest in the corporation because he knew the young man was making money and the banker happened to be dishonest. In 1907, Roosevelt panicked. The banker saw his chance and closed him out. It seemed like a dark day for the young man. All was lost, but watch the roulette wheel of destiny as it spins around by the force of fate. His loss forced him to go back to practicing law. This brought him in touch with $1 million corporation, which employed him at the salary of $5,000 a year, which I think today is like 80 grand, which he wouldn't have thought of accepting from an outsider while he was in control of his own business. This brought him to the Middle West and likewise in touch with big opportunity of his life. So his loss proved a blessing in disguise, for it literally drove him into a greater success. Okay, that's another example. So, because these can be slow and dry, I just want to pause for a minute. Does anyone else have a story about how the blessings in disguise have come about? I can tell you a few firsthand. See if we can even relate them to crypto. I'll tell you a side note because I love bonus lessons. Here's a bonus lesson. A lot of times it's actually that ignorance is bliss. Have you ever heard that? Like sometimes being too smart goes against you. I can think about a time when I was brand new into crypto, like some of you are. It was my first cycle ever, and I'd never bought a meme coin before. And I didn't know that there was like 1 million meme coins. Everyone makes a meme coin. I was exposed to my first meme coin ever because I joined this trade group. I joined this special trade group. I was exposed to one meme coin, and I just like, oh, screw it. He says it sounds good. I'm just going to buy it. And that ended up being SafeMoon, which now is in trouble, but did very, very well. That was the first meme coin I ever bought, 0 to hero. Now, if I knew what I was doing and I was like about my wits and, oh, most meme coins are scams, I don't buy anything new, I never would have bought it. Meme coins are different now. Anyone can make one. It was a little bit harder back then. That happened. Same with NFTs. One friend just said, oh, there's these new Disney NFTs. You like Walt Disney. It's the first ever Disney NFTs. There's this really special launch to get the very first golden Walt Disney statue Mickey Mouse NFT. I said, dude, you're right. I do love it. Thanks for telling me. Screw it. There was a ton of NFTs going out there, but I'm like, yeah, Walt, cool. Disney, yeah, sure, I could see that. So I get it. It's limited edition. There's like 4,000 in the world, and I get one, right? And same thing, just ignorance is bliss. Ah, sure, yeah, and let's let it fly. And that puppy did like, let's see, it was $333, 3x to like 60. That was like 100, did like 180x on paper. I never sold it. I still own it. Now it's like a 3x. So from 180x to 3x. So we'll see if the times still go on. But I hear these stories where sometimes a hardship reroutes you. And I can also think equally of sometimes how being ignorant, arrogant, unknowingly, and trusting blindly can also sometimes serve you. Bonus lesson, okay? Now let's see what else we got here. Okay, here we go. A young man who worked at the bank was fired because he drew and sketched car parts all day long. The loss of his job was quite a shock to him, for he supposed his mom and his sister, who he supported his mom and his sister from his small earnings. The loss of his bank job was the greatest blessing that ever came to him. For 6 months later, he invented an automobile part that made him a fortune. He is now president of one of the largest automobile accessory companies in America. His clerks are all supplied with desk pads and pencils with instructions to do all the automobile drawing as they wish, to dream, to imagine, to create. Okay? and bring any new ideas to him, how we can improve the auto parts. Any of their ideas which he uses, they get a bonus, $100 each, which was like, I don't know, a lot more than maybe like 2,500. John D. I think this is a new story. Yes. John D. Rockefeller, another story, discharged, this is one of the richest guys in the world, by the way, fired one of his best employees he thought went too far in the line of work. He made an unauthorized financial transaction in Mr. Rockefeller's absence. Even though the deal made him lots of money in cash, he was like, sorry, you're out of here. This was a blessing in disguise. This man who had been honest, faithful, but not well paid, was immediately employed by Mr. Rockefeller's rivals at a handsome salary. He now holds a high official position with the rival company. Every change in one's environment is for a purpose. That's something you need to write down. I'm going to write it down for the YouTubers out there. I can't type no more because I'm going to, but I'm still here. Awesome, man. Thanks for tuning in and engaging with us. What was that? A blessing in disguise. Every change in one's environment is for a purpose. Every change in one's environment is for a purpose. This is really good to keep in mind. Every change in one's environment is for a purpose. Really, really great to keep in mind. Maybe this has happened to you. It's certainly happened to me. So many things. Why did this door close? And then I see it later. And that's the hindsight, by the way. He's going to share more insights we'll get to at the end. There's really not that much here. Okay, and we may even skip around. But what you're going to find is when you have these adversities, today, they're going to seem hard. But if you keep going, if you don't give up, if you don't quit, if you see it through, if you come to see what the lesson is, what it can teach you, how it can serve you, most times in hindsight, later on, 2, 3, 5 years, it eventually becomes abundantly clear on why it happened in the first place, why it happened to you. But most times in the moment, you can't understand it. You can't understand, man, why? I got this job, like the doors flew open. I moved to a new city and I'm only going to work here for a year and then I have to leave. Why would that be happening to me? Man, I was on a winning streak, doing these things, and now I have to move back home to my mom's house and I have panic attacks, anxiety, sleeping on an air mattress, lose all my money, like this. Why? Maybe that's how I got introduced to crypto. Maybe if I never did that, I wouldn't even be here with you. Man, I love my place here. Why do I have to move? Well, let's get adjusted. Let's move over to Florida. Who knows what Florida holds? One door closes. I tried to stay in South Carolina. I wanted to stay in South Carolina. Then I came over here and said, man, I like it. Let me keep doing some of the things I wanted to do. And the door slammed shut in my face and said, that's over with. We're done with that. It's time for the next adventure. It's time for the new level. So sometimes the world slams doors shut in your face, doors that you think, this is so good. Why would you do this? Everything's fine. Everything's dandy. I don't want this to end. Keep it going. You can't understand why. But in hindsight, you're like, oh my gosh, I couldn't see it then, but it was opening up a whole new world for me. It was aligning me with my purpose. What a blessing. What a gift. How amazing. El Gato says, man, we all got a comfort zone and you have to step out of it. You have to step out of it. But here's the thing, El Gato, the whole point of everything is that in our own power, willingly, how often do we really step out of it? Like when it's sometimes in our own power, we take the initiative, right? And we say, man, I've only been investing in Bitcoin. Let me start researching the meme coin space. Let me start researching niche things. I've only worked a 9-to-5. Let me explore entrepreneurship. Sometimes people take the leap, but the whole irony of it all is that sometimes, maybe more times than not, destiny, the world, God, the universe pushes you out of the nest and forces the change, but it's perceived as a bad thing to us, right? That's the whole dynamic of it, is you're not celebrating, you're not happy because you're like, this is terrible. I just broke my leg. I just did this. Why? And then it becomes clear. But I'm in agreement, man. I'm in agreement. The comfort zone is a wonderful place. It's very nice to be there, but stay too long and it eats away at you. You know, it can be negative too. Every change in one's environment is for a purpose. That which seems like a disappointment and ill luck usually is a blessing in disguise. Put a little note there so I can read this again. If we do not carefully study cause and effect in all that we do and all that comes our way, we may never discover when and where our apparent failures in reality are blessings. If we do not carefully study cause and effect in all that we do and all that comes our way, we may never discover when and where our apparent failures in reality are actually blessings. And next says, stop and take inventory of your life. Record and see if you cannot find evidence which will support this narrative. Take an inventory of the lives of those you know intimately and see if the same is not true. So for this, look at your own life. Where has a perceived failure come up? Where has a perceived disappointment come up? Where has a door slammed shut in your face? And if it's most recent, maybe be uplifted by that fact. Oh man, based on what we're hearing here, I can't see it yet, but I'm not going to let this ruin me and get me in a deep depression. I'm going to stay positive because it's a setback for a setup. However, if it's older, if this was 3 years ago, 5 years ago, perhaps you can follow the chain and how it works. Go back 5, 6, 7 years. Why did she break my heart? Why did I get fired? Why did that real estate deal fall through? I can think other situations. I tried to get an apartment. I've tried to force the issue many times. And honestly, destiny in some way sort of feels undefeated. Sometimes destiny will just let you like mess up. Like it'll allow you to screw up saying, hey, it's just a pit stop. You know, it's just a deviation in your journey. We'll let you venture off a little bit. We'll let you venture off a little bit this way, but eventually we're going to reel you back in and get you on track. But I can think of a lot of times where I've been like, man, I'm doing this. This is what's right. I just know it's right. And the doors slam shut in my face. Anybody else? Moving. This has happened to me 3 times trying to move. Tried to get a roommate, want to get this place, tried to jam it in. And then like I wanted. It was done. The kid pulled out last second. Made me change everything. But then COVID came like a week later. Wow, I would have been screwed. It would have changed everything. Another time I tried to move locally with one of my good friends. I supplied my application. He got cold feet. He didn't. That would have been nice, a nice place with one of my roommate friends in my hometown area. But now I can see, man, that would have held me back so deeply. I had to spread my wings and fly and go elsewhere. So I tried to do it. And sometimes life, or maybe it's your conscious or your guardian angels or whoever is just kind of like, whoa, you don't want to go that way. Trust me, it may seem like it, but we want to push you this way. Okay. So think about your own life and the things that you've been through. Then when you become discouraged, when your destiny seems doubtful and life's pathway is fraught with many thorns of disappointment, when the rough and rugged hand of fate spins the roulette wheel of fortune so hard that the little pointer goes past your number, just remember that there is a bigger stake awaiting for you, if not in your present environment, then later on in some other game in the sphere of human accomplishment. Therefore, hang on. Great things lie ahead. Greatness awaits. I say that all the time. That's like something I believe for my own life. The best is always ahead. Okay, now what we have here. Okay, I think maybe this would be the last story I tell you. Will make you happy. So this is titled "The Happiest Moment of My Life." This is from the author. Actually, no, we're basically almost already done. We just got a few more nuggets at the end here, okay? So we're still reading, but there's a few nuggets. Hopefully you can get the takeaway. All right, let's read the book like we're reading it. The happiest moment of my life. I'm going to tell you, and by the way, this is about stock market crash. We may have some turbulence in the Web3 game. We have potential war going on. It's crazy times. The happiest moment of my life. I'm going to tell you about the happiest moment I ever experienced. This little narrative will not end as you imagine it will, nor as you will believe it ought to, in all probability. The happiest moment of my life was not the time that I secured my first position as a stenographer making $25 a week. That sounds like a little. I actually tried to exaggerate it. Let's just say $25 an hour, okay? That wasn't the happiest moment of my life, although I was very grateful and happy. To come out of the coal mines where my work was hard with much danger and I had no opportunity for self-development was indeed a happy moment of my life. I shall never forget when I threw down my pickaxe for the last time, feeling and knowing as I did so that I had shaken off the shackles of drudgery which hold millions of men's noses to the grindstone of common labor for life. That's a freaking mouthful, and that's masterful writing, but let's just compare it to today. Man, if you're a construction worker, if you are, I don't know, working in the sewers, maybe, what's like a dirty, hard-nosed physical labor job? That's what he was doing. And he said, man, I was happy to get out of there. Nor did I enjoy the happiest moment of my life the day I became a private secretary to one of the greatest business executives in America at a salary of $100 an hour, even though I realized full well that this step meant the greatest opportunity that had ever come to me. More winning. This guy keeps winning, but it's not the happiest moment. Neither did I enjoy the happiest moment of my life when I became assistant to the chief counsel of one of the greatest corporations in the entire world. To be sure, I felt the full value of this bigger opportunity for self-development, but I knew in my heart of hearts that I had not yet reached the happiest moment of my life. Again, the good times kept rolling, but the happiest moment of my life didn't come when I became an advertising manager for a multi-million-dollar institution at a salary of $120,000 a year. I felt good to see myself developing and growing and to know that I'd progressed this far toward my goal and my final ambition. But the happiest moment of my life had not yet arrived. I realized how much further development I needed before I could begin to live and serve my fellow men in the manner that I had longed for years and years to be able to do so. I saw my weakness and lack of development as no one else could have done. I knew there was still something missing. And even though I didn't know what it was, I did know that without it, I could never reach the height of my ambition. I became president of a major corporation. It prospered and made a crap ton of money. My portion of the profits were more than $30,000 a month. I had cars, I had servants, I had suits and silk hats, and I had a valet. Now that's balling today. $150,000 a year will permit one to enjoy many things which he doesn't need, and without one would be better off. But even then, with all of that, I still wasn't happy. Interesting. Then came the biggest crash, the panic of 1907. In the twinkling of an eye, my business and every dollar I had were swept away in the panic of 1907. I went down to my office to remove my personal effects from which I had at my desk the day before. In one drawer, I found a $50. It was all that stood between me and starvation. This guy was making $150K a year. It'll explain what happened. It was all that stood between me and starvation. I flipped the coin over in the palm of my hand a couple times. Then I came to the full realization of what it was that I needed to make me happy. In those few moments, as I held that $50 before me, I saw myself being remelted, repoured from the crucible of hard experience. That was the happiest moment of my life. I was happy because I'd seen the good life. I've tasted the good life. I waded through the pastures in green until I had overeaten and drinking too much wine in this place of prosperity, all the way from $12 an hour, working as a laborer, to $20,000 a month, president of a big corporation, was too much for me. I had to be rebaptized in the fire of want and hunger. I had to have a new foundation upon which to build my business structure. And as I sat there and I took inventory of my worldly possessions, I realized full well that I would build that new and better foundation, not because I wanted to, because I had to do it. There was no other way out. And the thought of this rebuilding process, a process which would make me stronger, more capable, and happier worker in the harvest fields of life, brought joy to my heart. That failure in 1907 was truly a blessing in disguise. Without it, I would never have known the full value of adversity. It were better if we all experience temporary financial reverses. Without them, we might grow selfish. We might forget that whatever worldly possessions we have, we merely hold during a brief time called life. Then he says, Lord, feed me not with overabundance, lest my belly become full and I deny thee. This quotation, while it may not be exact, expresses in biblical terms a truth which I wish to convey through the narrative. The richest experience that can come to a man or a woman is that of financial hardship. The full value of such an experience will depend on whether we accept it as a blessing or as a curse. Your earnest friend, Napoleon Hill. Okay, and we got a little bit more how to implement the lesson, a few banger quotes. What do you think about that, though? Interesting story, okay? A $50, by the way. So just pretend like, I don't know, you had 150K, you got wiped out, and then, I don't know, maybe the silver, it's called a $50, but let's just say like, I don't know, you have a thing of silver and it's worth $164. And like and so what happened, by the way, is the banks lost all their money. And we've hinted about this a little bit. We do think, for a side note here, crypto world, I do think the greatest run of all time is still in the chamber, the biggest blow off the top ever, because adoption is coming, regulation is coming, which means this naturally has to happen. This hyped run, I think it will be like the biggest run we've ever seen when it does come, whether it takes 3 months or 2 years. However, there's another risk lined up with that, and that is that at least the United States, which is the world runs on US dollars. We're like the dominant country with that. They are in a bad spot. They know this. They're trying to save themselves. In order to do this, they will have to reset the financial system. Because they're in control, they print money. I think in the last 5 years, 50% of the current money supply has been printed. So the money supply has been circulating for, I don't know, decades. In the last 5 years, 50% of all the money has been printed. If I have 5 diamonds in my hand, they're very, very valuable. Only 5 people can get these diamonds. If I go into my room and I magically pull out 50 more diamonds and I put them all together, now there's 55 diamonds. You're going to pay less. It's worth less, and prices go up. Oh man, like 1 diamond's rare, but now to make it worth it, we're going to charge 2 diamonds instead of 1 diamond. That's what's happening in the world. That's why a box of cereal could be $9. That's why, what other things like postage fees are crazy, right? Like if you want to ship something for UPS, it may be like $60. Like that's unsustainable. That's crazy. What about, you guys remember the $5 footlong at Subway? $5 footlong. It's like $10.50. A Chipotle bowl used to be $6. Now it's $10, $11, right? Everything in a short time doubled, has gone up. And this is something to keep on your radar that I'm aware of, is that I keep this in my back of my mind about like hyperinflation and what happens when they print, and there's potentially wars. So I don't mean to scare you, but I say all that to say, one, this is a good story of perspective. What happened is the banks, in this case, all the money was wiped out. I think like the banks were over leveraged, so stocks were wiped out. You could have kept your stock, but your stock was basically worthless, right? So you would have had to hold it, but you'd have no money to operate. So people went hungry, and this stuff happened. And the world is ironically not that much better today. We seem like a superpower, but there's money things. And we had the 2008 real estate crash. So I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to say that position accordingly. I think when I think, how do I want to play moving forward? Some people would say, oh, it'd be smart to put money in like bonds, right? Like get 4%, 3% interest, 4% interest on treasury bonds. To me, that's what people say is safe. To me, not safe at all. I don't want to do that at all, because they support each other. Treasury bonds supports the money that they print. If the US dollar falls and there's some reset, those are getting wiped out too. 401k, that's no safe haven for me. If we had a financial reset, people who had a 401k would probably be wiped out. That's got to be a hard thing. So yeah, it's just good to be aware. It's good to be aware. This is why economics matter. This is why, you know, learning about crypto and what's happening in the world can actually serve you and make you positioned so you're not caught by surprise. But let me tell you one bullish thing before I just leave you with that doom and gloom, since we're talking about the upside of setbacks and things like that. I fully believe that the reset that could happen in a financial system does happen in Web3. So it goes digital, it goes on chain. Stable coins are a big thing. Although right now they're just backed by dollars. So that wouldn't be safe either if it happened. But like Bitcoin, for example, I thought about it. That would probably be actually maybe the safest place to go if the US dollars died. And I don't even want to buy Bitcoin, but I was thinking about that. I'm like, you know, it's the most limited. You don't want to buy gold, by the way. Not financial advice, my own opinions. Let's just say it's like the end of the world. I promise we're getting better. I'm going like way off on like, you just got to be aware. You got to think of these things ahead of time so they're not a shock to you. Let's just say like the financial system gets wiped out and it's a short period of chaos, right? And you're like, oh man, what's going on? Is there an alien invasion going on? People talk about aliens. Is there, I don't know, a war going on? Flee your home. Well, if you have $2 million in gold, you know how much that weighs? You're not going anywhere with $2 million in gold. $2 million in gold. Weight. I mean, that's got to be like way over 100 pounds. No way. Which is roughly what? No way. Impossible. No way. Am I that off? One of those big bricks of gold. That's worth what? How much? What is that? How much is a giant? I don't know what it's called. Brick of gold. I'll share this with you guys so you can see what I'm doing here. All right, we're just kind of doing a little research in real time. Let's look at this. All right, how much is the giant brick of gold? Standard giant 400 ounce, 27.4 pounds. What? Is worth 1 million? No, it's not. That's so wrong. That's got to be wrong. Those are worth like 150,000 or 200,000. A kilo bar, yeah. So a 400 ounce bar, how does that even make sense? A 400 ounce bar is 1 million. What? 1 kilo bar is 155, 160. Let me look at the pictures. Basically, I did these calculations. This is what I'm thinking, right? I believe that this thing right here is like 27 pounds. 12.5 kg. I think that's in pounds. That's 27, right? 25 kg in lbs. Okay, yeah. So 166K is 27 pounds, okay? 166K times, no, we'll just say 1 million divided by 166,000. All right, we're just doing moon math. Bear with me. Okay, so 6 times 27. If you had, let's just say you're a millionaire, times have gone tough. You got your $1 million, okay? You're trying to leave the country, you're hopping on a plane, and shit's hit the fan. And you have $1 million in gold. $1 million in gold weighs 162 pounds. I knew I was right about that. $1 million in gold, 162 pounds. Imagine people who have $20 million, $50 million. They say, put it all in gold. What are you going to be able to do with it? Oh, the bank will buy it. Yeah, not when there's chaos going on. So it seems I'm sold on the idea. Wow, you could just have digital Bitcoin, basically. Yeah, it isn't really backed on anything besides people's belief, but it's limited. You can carry it on a ledger. You can bring $100 million in Bitcoin on an airplane anywhere. You can't even take 162 pounds. No way. Some people weigh 162 pounds. I think I weigh like 190 pounds. Can't put that in my backpack. The backpack would rip. $1 million. So Anyways, side rant. Gold, I'm not so sure. Bitcoin, maybe. All right. I digress. So that was the happiest moment of his life. Hardship that rocked him to his core, and it gave him perspective. Maybe you can relate. I've always said some people who have less money believe that the person out there who has the silver spoon, all's good for them. Like, oh man, I wish I had, easy for them to say, mommy and daddy's rich. Maybe you know some people like that. Maybe you're the person pointing to those people saying, yeah, easy for them to say, mommy and daddy, blah, 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 right? Ironically, in this whole line of thinking, it's the people who have been through the gauntlet, the people who grew up with less, the people who had lack, the people who had pain, who are more likely or better positioned to ascend, because to move forward, to grow, to make a lot of money, because they had the hard times, and those hard times built them, versus the people who never had it hard. They were given the silver spoon, but when adversity faces them, they fall off a cliff. It's too much for them. Adversity, by the way, I've said this once before. I don't mean it disrespectfully, but I've done some things on the streets before, and I've got to speak to a lot of people who are homeless. And I was always curious to know what happened, right? Like if they opened up and shared a story, oh, why you out here? Every single person I talked to, without exception, every single person had faced one huge challenge in their life. One guy said, I cheated on my wife. We used to have a house together. She kicked me out. Then, I don't know, he started using or something happened there. Another girl said, I used to be a kindergarten teacher. My father passed away. I couldn't handle his loss. I went down a dark path. And that's what happened to me. Used to be normal, everyday people, not saying they're not now, but like it's a hardship. And it happened to them, and basically they just never recovered. But as human beings in this experience, the hardship, the adversity is the hidden blessing. But you have to be able to, knowing and understanding this can help you through life, because you're guaranteed to face hard times. You're guaranteed. So accept it now and know, okay, when it happens next, how is this serving me? How could it serve me? Maybe I should just not resist so bad. Maybe I should just not, beat myself up on this or get too deep in it, because it's actually just a small bump in the journey. It's actually setting me up for something bigger, right? So keep all that in mind. I'm back. Yo. How much gold can you take out of the country? I'm curious. Maybe like 100? How much gold can you take on an airplane? $10,000? Oh, that means you have to declare it if it's over $10,000. Sorry for that reaction. Declare if it's $10,000 over 10K. But I don't think you have to declare a ledger, do you? Okay, but that doesn't answer my question. How much gold can you take on an airplane? I hate when they don't answer my question. Got to ask better questions. What is the maximum amount of gold you can take on an airplane? $10,000? The gold's value is $10,000. You must file a form. TSA does not typically prohibit gold, but heavy amounts should be on carry-on luggage. International countries have limits. For instance, some travelers to India can bring up to 1 kg of gold in their carry-on. Crazy. And what else? How much, let's just do like Canada. How much gold can I bring in my car from USA to Canada? Like Border Patrol, right? You can bring an unlimited amount of gold into Canada, but you must declare it all. If the value of most of your gold and other monetary instruments is over 10,000 or more, you must report it to avoid confiscation, fines, or criminal charges. Wow. See, the matrix just becomes more and more clear. If you ever, yeah, I was talking about you, Air. Welcome back. Welcome back. See, this is just good to know, right? Because like, damn, that's kind of crazy. I mean, I guess if we're talking about like I don't know. I'm thinking about like movies where it's like Godzilla's coming or, War of the Worlds and everyone's just fleeing, like all the rules are out the door. But I'm just thinking like, man, gold's just not, I'm not down on it. And then who's going to buy it? Like, okay, yeah, water, for example, could be more precious than gold. If all you have is gold, you'll have to trade with someone, but like you may trade some gold for water. Interesting. We'll go back positive. I'm not a doomer. Bubba Gump says, man, I'm a farmer, man. I keep 2 giant bricks in my pockets just for the discipline, just to build character. Is that right, Bubba? Man, I should have known. Bubba Gump, he could handle the gold. He'll take the gold. Okay, now I got a juicy quote for you. Let's kind of wrap this up. Every change in one's environment is for a purpose. That which seems like a disappointment and ill luck usually is a blessing in disguise. How do you like them apples? Every change in one's environment is for a purpose. What seems like a disappointment and ill luck usually, in fact, is a blessing in disguise. Does no one have any stories? Hey, this brings me joy. I'm so happy to hear that. That's what we want to do. We want to uplift, inspire, and empower dreamers like you. Maybe you have a dream out there, Air Rice. Maybe there's something that you want to achieve. And is in the early days, through grade school, through middle school, through high school, they say you can do it. You can be anything you want to be. You can do this. You can do that. You can do that. And then as soon as you get past that, they say, oh, show's over, Buster. Time to get realistic. You got to get real about this life. But guess what? The dreamers of the world, they never accept that. The world tells you to get realistic, but you say, I never agreed. I never believed it. I never accepted it. I never accepted it. I just choose, that's not for me. Realistic is not for me. And by the way, guys, as a dreamer, this is what you have to do. You have to be, okay. So we're basically done. Let's see what this says. Hill by his own examples, failure, how to react, respond, recover from any situation, especially financial, and how to turn it into a lesson rather than a defeat. It's your turn now. Make a list of your adversities to date, how you reacted, responded, and recovered. Next to each one, write what you could have done or should have done, then write the lesson learned. Interesting that what seemed devastating at the time now seems less of an issue. And that's a lesson all by itself. Study your past challenges and adversities. These lessons will guide you to future success. Okay, so this is true. Your adversities, your setbacks or setups, they shape you, they form you. In hindsight, the more you overcome, the better off you are. Yeah, I mean, if anyone has stories, fire away. I can think of death. Death is shaped completely different for me now. I would still, of course, mourn, but I understand the greatness. Death is a thing that happens to all, but life is what it's all about, right? Life is the journey, and death is not. It's all how we perceive things. Every person on earth that you know has experienced the death, unless they're like a very small child. But every person, so you think, I just can't handle this. The pain is too much. It's part of the human experience. So like a different understanding, maybe I had more pain in certain points of time, and now I see life and death so much differently, maybe in a lighter way, focusing on the experience of life, that now it's like, that really was so hard on me now, but of course, my best wishes and my thoughts. I'm not insensitive, but handle it differently. I understand the blessing of life. I can think of another time where I had the hardest of hard times. Here's another truth. A lot of your hard times that you experience in these hardships and these setbacks are based on your perception. The suffering that you went through was based on how you processed it, how you thought about it, right? The thoughts made the suffering like more amplified than it actually was in reality. This was my hardest rock bottom was deeply based in that. I had people who betrayed me, and the thoughts of them. I went back in time and said, oh, this person stole from me. This person did this. This did this. I was like, you know what? If I knew what I knew now, the greatness of the life experience. If I knew what I knew now and you took me back there, I would have suffered for a quarter of the time, far less. I would have bounced back way quicker. But guess what else? Because I went through that, the grind and beat down at the time, it was my biggest suffering. It was filled with suffering. Because of that, now I'm battle tested. Now I'm stronger. It's just like going to the gym. You shred your muscles, right? I'm so small right now, but you shred your muscles, you beat them up, and they grow. They get stronger. So game of life here. No pain, no gain, right? It can be good to go through the gauntlet of growth, pain, becoming. Okay? Now, we got all that. He was going to say, right. I just covered a few. Make a list of your adversities to date, how you reacted, responded, and recovered. Next to each one, write what you could have done or should have done. Then write the lesson learned. So keep this in mind for yourself. If you're going through something now, if you've been through something before, if you want to apply this to your crypto bags, we'll talk about Dream Cat for a second, right? Obviously, the Dreamer's Library. Another reason we read, by the way, this chapter is lighter. These chapters are really short, different packing punches. And Think and Grow Rich, it was maybe more evident. And The Secret was more evident. But what you're going to understand is that Dream Cat, this meme coin project that we're building, the largest community of dreamers in the world, a multi-decade long project vision that will come to light, and your belief will change as you see. But remember, believers see before they no. Believing comes before seeing. And that's what creates the vision. Believing first. Believers know that. Now, what I want to say is, what you're going to see is Dream Cat follows the principles of success. So because of these principles, we are positioned differently than maybe other projects who have traditional mindsets, right? Oh man, we got hacked. It's so over. Oh man, the chart is down. Let's try a relaunch. We don't do these things. We're applying the success principles to Web3, to this project. And as soon as you understand them, as soon as you fully comprehend how well they work, how accurate they work, the secondary purpose of the book club is you will understand why Dream Cat is positioned so well. The thoughts, the belief systems that build the dream. And you investing your time in them make you that diamond-minded dreamer, right? You're like, the system basically builds you. It's like tools, and your understanding of the tools give you the utmost confidence that allow you to move in a way that no one else could, because they can't share the confidence and conviction that you eventually have. So that is the loaded underlying thing here. So if we look at Dream Cat, let's take a gander. I suppose we could take a gander. We do this in Dream Talk, but we're going a little custom. Let's just talk about the trials and tribulations applying it to Dream, okay? Some of you heard the story. I won't ramble on too long, but I just want to show you overall perspective. We're sitting at, I think we had a buy since we started. We're at 49K. 49K right now. Up, down, all around. It's a seesaw. I keep tissues, runny nose, and can't find anything. Is wipe is terrible. Are you processing, Raylan? Are you going through your hardships and thinking about them in real time and processing? By the way, kudos to you, man. You are taking the dreamer journey. I don't want to put you up against other people, but you're taking it more serious than just the meme coin, right? I appreciate about you is that you're someone who adopts like the principles or applies them. And I saw the video you tagged me in. I still have to watch it, but kudos to you because you take the journey like more, I don't know. I don't want to say more seriously, but I think that you can benefit in your life development and become somebody new in the process of becoming perhaps a Dream Cat millionaire. You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to find more respect to the present. Interesting. I love the deep thoughts. Okay, what was oh yeah, chart real quick. So let's look at this. Okay, so I want to explain, you could say the blessings in disguise, yeah? Depending on how you look at it. So how you can shape as a Dream Cat holder. Naturally, over time hurts a lot of people. The more time that passes, people lose enthusiasm naturally, okay? Actually, you know what? This is going to be clippable. I know it's going to be clippable. So let's do this. Let's blow this up. I got to be on the screen because I don't want to talk here for my health. If there's a good clip, I want to pull it. So let's see if we can clip stuff. All right, we'll just give you that visual while we chat. Okay, this is the Dream Cat chart, okay? Yes, we have a history, ups, downs, all arounds, hot times, low times. No, we've never done KOLs, anything. It's always been organic. The dream mission has evolved over time. If you didn't know, we used to relate to the Dos Equis guy, right? I don't always choose beer. I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. Dream Cat was slightly modeled after him in the suit and tie. That's kind of where that came from. We also used to talk about XRP a lot more. The total supply of Dream Cat is 589 million. That was like a minor thought that the XRP army are the biggest community of believers in the world. And hey, like, they will see this clue in time because they don't believe in memes. But once they realize how real the dream is, it could be something they want to invest in. We want to keep it open for delusional believers. So that's like another little thing that we don't focus on. Okay, it was all organic. It went up and it went down. But let me tell you something about life. Time kills off most people. Enthusiasm is lost to time. Excitement is lost to time. Motivation is lost over time. Attention, of course, is lost over time. Salute if you're still here. If you're here, you've maneuvered through the sexy flashes, right? The sexy, the entertainment. We still got to bring it back. We still got to do more VCs. Like, this is almost like a one-sided thing here. I can talk with you guys, but it's not the same as doing spaces every day, staying up 8 hours. It's a different level. The price isn't going up. You're not getting the dopamine hit. So if you're here now, you are the filtered through true and true dreamers. I mean, you've had so long to leave. If you're here, why leave now? You've weathered a lot of the storm. Yes? Well, time, like I said, kills off a lot of these people. And this is why a lot of people miss their exit. They miss their dream because let's just use this chart as what will we use it as? Kind of like a parable, right? So we'll say you used to be up at the top of our chart, right? We see that little red line up there. That's where you used to be. You had the job, you had the dream wife, you had it all, and you cheated on her. You got fired, you broke a leg, your NFL career's over, and you just, man, down, 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 down. And look at that chart. Man, I'm down, but that's okay. I got a new girlfriend. Oh, she broke up with me. Hey, that's all right. I got a big crypto play. I just made 50K and it's gone. Up, down, up, down. And it just seems to be getting worse and worse. And you get more discouraged and get more discouraged. And here's the thing. Because you can't see what's next. This is where people give up on life. This is where people start changing their attitude. They used to be enthusiastic. They used to be optimistic. They used to be believers. By the way, this transitions right into Thursday's Dream Talk, which is the oxygen of belief. And I'm already giving you a clue about how you maintain the oxygen of belief. Most people are lost here. Why? Because things get boring. They don't do personal development. Maybe you've been through all this and you can't see what's around the corner. But if you trust in that the setback is for the setup, if you believe that you're here for some purpose, you gotta believe. You don't have to. I'm not telling you have to believe. I'm saying if you're here now at this point in time without flash and flare, something about the dream project, something that happened along the way has put an imprint on you that tells you there's a little voice back there that says, wait a minute. Maybe this is the one. Wait a minute. I was looking for something at one point in time. There was a huge synchronistic moment that happened on a dream chat. I just feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. The chart tells me this. Zach always says the future is bright. I don't know. But something keeps you in the game. You can't see it you can look backwards, but okay, so we're getting there. Okay. So you can't see it. It could be just around the corner. It could be a month away. But since you can't see it, you have to work on keeping the correct mindset, mentality, build the dreamer's mentality, build the setbacks or the setups for the purpose mentality. I'm the dev. I don't think, maybe many of you think, oh, we went up. How will we ever get back there again? You know, obviously I'm a lot more imaginative. Obviously I know a lot more of the vision. Obviously I know, you know, purpose. Maybe you can't see it and it's hard to see. Same with your life. Same with your dreams. Same with your current hardships, setbacks, the things where things don't look bright. You can't see it today. So that's what makes it hard. But if you understand that the things that are hard that are happening to you are for a purpose, perhaps to build you into the person, well, now you can weather the storm willingly and keep a positive mind and keep a positive attitude. Because guess what? Here's a couple catalysts, and I have a lot of thoughts. I don't want to forget them. If you go forward and you change your attitude based on what you see, you may actually stop the great future from coming to you, right? Because you're like, you lose optimism, momentum, belief, whatever, and you start getting negative, you start becoming a doubtful person, you start taking less actions that create the result because you're like, whatever. And that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you have to, you don't just have to maintain it. You got to maintain the energy. You got to maintain the inner belief. You got to maintain all that. The second thing I want to say is, going forward, you can't see the path. You can't see what's coming next. Some may have more doubt than optimism. However, going backwards, everything makes sense. When you go from the end of the rainbow and you look back, you can connect every single dot, all the hardships, all the bad things that happened to you, and why they happened. But at the moment, you couldn't see why. I remember, damn, we had so much momentum. Why did we get hacked? Let me tell you something right now. If Dream Cat would have kept going, guess what? All our counterparts, all our peers have come significantly down too, and they weren't hacked. They didn't have something crazy happen to them. It was just normal stuff. Because of how memes work, that's just how it happened. You could say it's a blessing in disguise that we've never played our full hand. We've never gone all in, because as the market's gone on, sure, we could have had a boost, but it would have all been lost. What if this has all happened for the dream, for momentum and energy and the stars to align at the exact time of energy that the way destiny has it? What if? Now, also equally looking from here back, look at your life and look at the hardships. You can pinpoint all of them. Maybe you can't pinpoint it yet. That means something great is yet to come. But if I think in real time, I mean, I got my dream job out of college. It made me move somewhere. I was so blessed. I only worked there for 1 year. I thought I was going to work there for 7. I was like, I can't believe this happened. Why? Why did this happen? So many great things happened to me. Huge, huge setbacks. I realize it saved me time. If it was in my own doing, I'd stay there for 7 years. But instead, I only needed 1 to realize I'm supposed to be an entrepreneur. Like, that's just what I'm supposed to do. So that uncomfortable loss, that uncertainty, forced me into the arena. I'd still be working for him today. You wouldn't know about Dream Cat. I wouldn't have chased these dreams that shaped my mind. And by the way, all these other things that weren't, one other thing, if you're on your purpose-filled mission and you're finding out what your dream is, what you're supposed to do in life, where you're going, sometimes there's a discovery process, which means you go through a bunch of different things and all you know is all you know. It's right in front of you and you're like, hey, right now, my cousin's offering me this job. I need a job, so I'm going to take this job. But like, I have this ambition or I want to do this. So you kind of go with the flow. You do that thing. And that may not be the thing. It may not be the dream, but in that job, you learn a lesson. You have a hardship. You have an upside. It could be positive too. Good things happen. And that wasn't the main destination. However, if you remove that job from the field, you wouldn't have been built properly to carry greatness when it arrived. And that's what I want to zero it in on. The dreamers who are here today, who have weathered the storm, the adversity, and still managed to show up, still managed to create something, still managed to commit when the future cannot be seen. Well, something that you don't realize you've done is you're building your belief. If you can believe now, think about how good your belief will be when you're up 20x on your bag. Think about how good your belief will be when 100 people are talking in the chat. You'll be bulletproof. You weathered the deepest storm. Therefore, now, here's the perspective of this. if we were never hacked, if the chart never went down, if we never had our hardship, maybe you just sell earlier, right? Oh man, 3 million we hit, you take some profit and you're gone. You're in somewhere else. But instead, it happened the way it happened, that now, because of everything that happened, because of all the time that passed, because of all the hardships, you say, well, damn, if we all continued on through this and we kept building it, it's only gotten better and better and better. Like, why would I sell at 5 million? It's already proved. Like, that was during the hard times. We weathered that. Now it's with the good times, when 30 people are creating content for us. What can't we do? And all those lessons allow you to be the person who can have, who's never seen $1 million in your life, see $1 million in your wallet and know, I believe I don't need to sell it. You can take you can do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm not one of those people who says, don't sell, hold it forever. It's your choice. It's all based on belief. Everything in the dream is based on your belief. We have enough energy to send the rocket because the rocket is real. But it's all up to you. It's all about belief. There's no escaping belief in this project. Your belief is your North Star. Your belief will serve you. Your belief will take you to certain levels of heights and distances. All up to you. You do your homework. The more you tap in, the more you hear, the more you listen, the more you understand, the more you believe. But sorry, I got on a little ramble here. I got to get off. I'm going to chill. But I just want to say, the people, there was that guy out there. What's his name? David something. Some first Bitcoin guy. He made a YouTube video. Bitcoin was $1. He's like, guys, I'm telling you, just buy Bitcoin. It's $1. Buy 20 of them. Do nothing. That guy, last story I'm going to tell you, I think, unless I'm telling a fib. That guy bought the Bitcoins. Maybe he bought 1,000, 10,000. I really don't know how many he bought. But understand this, why belief is paramount. Kind of just a little shift here. He saw that money, that dollar, go up to like $100. But he also saw it come all the way back down to $20. Then he had to wait 2 years with nothing happening. $20, $19, $17, $16, $15, $17, $18, $21, $23, $13, $20 for 2 years. Oh, I should sell. It's doing nothing. Then it went from 23 up to 1,000. And he said, hot diggity dog, I'm on a winning streak. Should I sell it? Should I not? Then it came back down to 500. Point being, all of that, in order, you think, oh, if I would have just bought Bitcoin, I'd be a millionaire. No, you wouldn't, because you never built. Most people don't build the belief system. Most people don't build the mentality. Most people don't understand fully. So your deepest understanding of the highs and lows, the vision, the mission, how things work, these lessons position you to be able to carry the weight of greatness. If you've been through the hardships and you get $1 million, maybe now you understand what it's like to have it, because it didn't come easy. The people who get it easy lose it just as quickly. It came so easy. Sure, I'd love to buy dog with hat on day one and go from $1,000 to $800K and cash out. But would I treat that $800K like Monopoly money because it was never built? I hope we go sooner rather than later. I do. There's no reason to delay anything. It's just the progress of putting it together. So anyway, that's the schmo. Another quote: you can succeed in life only as you succeed in a race, by passing others. Dang, that's kind of like competitive and diabolical. You can only win by running over the weaklings. Is that what that's saying? You got to pass others in the race, just like a real race. We got a comment here from El Gato Satoshi, and guess what? Surprise, I'm doing a giveaway. I'm giving away 20,000 Dream. Satoshi, I still owe you 30K. If the Telegram is too much of a challenge, just send me your Solana wallet in DMs, because I don't want to leave you hanging there. I'm going to give away 20,000 Dream, and you don't even need to do anything. The tryout was the stream. I like this stream when we don't announce giveaways, because that means people are here for the real purpose, and therefore they deserve the giveaway. They deserve the opportunity. But first, let me show you some new content. please check this out. It didn't get any motion because we started the space and we did it so people don't even know it's here because you're here. But new content, we got 100 pieces lined up. We got movies, we got different stuff. So we want to ramp that up as well. We want to string it all together. But to me, this looks pretty good. So when you're seeing this on your feed, drop it a like, drop it a retweet. The Lord of Dreams, that's quality. Anyone seen The Lord of the Rings? You got mountains, you got castles, you got battles, you got orcs, you got elves, you got good guys, you got Vikings. Cool. I think. Anyway, show some support on that. And yeah, 20,000 Dream. All you had to do was be here and support us. Be active. So we'll see. We'll make a list and we'll pick a winner by chance. May the chances be in your favor. Oh, we even had more engagement than I thought. It was lagging. May the odds be in your favor. Raylan dropped the comment? Hold on, that's bonus points. That's bonus points. We're going to give Raylan 2 entries. 2 entries for going above and beyond. Twice as many chances. Who else? Retweets? Mr. Scene, Bubba, Libre, Satoshi. I think that's everyone in the comments retweeting. And also shout out to our friends on YouTube. Is anyone from YouTube still with us? Anyone from YouTube still with us? Comment now. If you are, you can enter this giveaway too. I would certainly put the Air Rice 2. I'd put you in this giveaway. Do you do crypto? Do you have a Solana wallet? I guess Coinbase maybe works too. Anyone else? Let's see. Shout out to my man Coiny. Screw it. He can't listen. If you guys don't know, Coiny speaks Korean, but he still supports Max. Look, see, Max, engage, respect. We'll give him an entry because shared it out. My man Libre in the chat. This is a classic. I remember this one. Walking through the fires of adversity. That's on the stream. Bingo bango. Libre. Raylan. Coiny. Libre. We'll give, yeah, okay. Very good. And there we go. And then those of you who are on the stream, tap it in. So we got Satoshi. Man, Satoshi, I appreciate the support, man. I feel like you're with us as of late in the trenches. You're so based. Let me tell you something cool, man. Let me tell you something cool. I'm not trying to like jock on you or be weird. I think what's really cool, I'm noticing a shift. Canware, are you here? Some people just got stuff going on, so they're not in the chat. I don't like, sometimes you just want to listen. But Canware, are you here? Checking 1, 2, 3, Canware. Sometimes Canware is secretly listening. He's at the beach, letting it seep through his meditation. He's meditating on the beach. He's in another place, but he just lets it go in his ears or something. Canware, are you here? Let me know. I want to say something about Canware. So, okay. Satoshi, we got you here. Bubba Gump, we got you here, man. Love. Bubba Gumpski. And Libre, we already got. Boom. That's who we got active in the chat. He is. I knew it. No, look, Bubba, he's always in the shadows. Is it too cold for the beach? What's going on in Australia, mates? Weather. What is the weather? Australia's a whole entire, like, what country? What is the weather in Australia today, mate? That's pretty general, but let's get an average. 76 degrees. Widespread sunny and clear conditions with a national high around 76. Oh, it's getting close to like your winter and a low of 54. Gotcha. We had 81 in good old Florida today, 81 Fahrenheit. So that's, I guess that's like 28 Celsius or something like that. Sorry to hear about your cold times, but no, Bubba's still in the building. He's always lurking. I appreciate you guys being here. I'm glad you could hear this message. It feels good to know that even if you're passively listening, if you could hear what was said. I mean, it's powerful for, you know, other community leaders, for dreamers. Powerful stuff, man. This is the game of life. Okay, so here's what I want to say about Canware, since Canware's here. Canware shared a post. I won't be able to find it. It was way back. Shared a post in the chat the other night. There was a few dreamers in there in our Telegram. Coiny was in there. Coiny made a message and said, hey guys, I'm feeling pretty tired, honestly. I went on this adventure. I don't really feel like forcing the issue. I don't want to like say, just talk in the chat to talk, kind of just chilling. Just want to send some love. I'm going to go to sleep. Cool. I respect it. Then Mr. Scene came in and he said, man, I can relate. Sometimes you're just like vibing or you're just doing your thing and there's nothing to say, right? Like just like today's vibing, listening in. And then he started talking about vibration. And I want to talk about this. And this kind of relates to Satoshi too, is I felt a shift. When we pulled up that chart and you looked at it, all those OGs who were there in the beginning were there based on crypto. Nobody was with us based on dreams. Ben was like an exception, like 25%. Obviously, you guys like dreams, but no one there was there because of personal development, because of self-help. They were there because like meme coin, dream, cool. The shift that I'm noticing is now that we're projecting, we're getting more true about who we are. Well, number one, I'm losing followers. This is something that's good to me anyway. Why? Because there's only 43 people listened anyway. You get 25, 30 likes max on a post in your own ecosystem anyway. So who cares if you have 2,500 followers or if people unfollow you? They're not going to tap in anyway. So I noticed I'm getting more true about the messaging, more true about the intent. And in the process, repels some people away. Some people walk away and other people like are more aligned, like it resonates. And that's what vibration is, vibration and frequency. And I have felt as of late, say the last 2-3 months, that we have now, because of what we've put out, we've revealed some sleepers out there, right? People who are also just hanging out in crypto, but share similar philosophies, thought processes, etc. So like I'm sharing some thoughts with you, Satoshi, because Satoshi came in my comments talking about Neville Goddard. Okay. If you guys are dreamers, when I go in the Telegram and I type /wisdom1, wisdom7, /wisdom8, those are all messages from the Feeling is the Secret book. By the way, if you didn't know that, Satoshi. So if I do wisdom 7, this pops up in the chat. It says, feeling is the secret, preparing to sleep. You feel yourself into the state of your answered wish, dream, and then relax into unconsciousness. Night after night, you should assume the feeling of being, having, and witnessing that which you seek to possess and see it manifested as real. You comment Neville Goddard, I'm like, whoa, we literally put Neville Goddard in our chat. This is someone who talks about feeling is the secret. Then we related on that book. I just got volume 2 of that book. We had a book. Starseed had a similar book. So I just feel, and then, Camera, I could talk about like meditation and stuff because I'm into meditation. So I feel now. And then Libre, for example, Libre had nothing to do with personal development before. No shots on Libre, but he's someone who's like adopted it fully. Amos, same thing. Amos wasn't about personal development. He's adopted it and he's saying, wow, I'm listening to some other speakers like Les Brown and Tony Robbins, and I'm noticing they're saying the things that you're saying. I'm not saying I'm the expert. I'm borrowing the information from a different field. We're not trying to be how the meme coin legends are. We're trying to be how the success legends are and apply it to meme coins. So all I'm trying to say with this vibration, this frequency, is I feel that we're aligning more deeply with people who are aligned with the depths of dream. The biggest takeaway here, like if you're here right now, this is the takeaway, is you're going to be spending time in Web3 anyway. You're into meme coins, you believe in crypto, so you can talk about poo coin and butts and boobs. Who doesn't like those things? Nice, cool, grand. Maybe there's an ice cream coin, cool. But is that going to do anything else for you? No, maybe it's just entertainment. Cool, no worries either. But the double-sided thing here is, what an idea to come here, position yourself, have a feedback room. Like, maybe it's not totally clear yet, but maybe over time, the people who come here Really think about it. And at some point in time, start actively chasing a dream. They start actively transforming who they are. They say, man, you know, I'm going to try some of this stuff that's talked about. I'm going to go home tonight. I'm going to reflect on my hardships. And man, I'm going to really look and see what is the silver lining. And you become someone new. You become someone who becomes this delusional optimist. You become a product of your teaching, of your brainwashing, of your mind, of the songs. Those songs we played in the chat earlier before it started, I was getting a little unleashed. They were like music. It was just music. But the words are powerful. In the fire of desire, it's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Yes, sweet dreams are made of this. What's the other one? With every spark of imagination, yada, 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 creation. So even the music is brainwashing you for positivity, to brainwash your mind. So anyway, I digress. We're more aligned. Satoshi, he said, you got my sword. That means he's rocking with us. He's wanting to put on the armor and chase the dream, man. So I look forward to that. All right, let's see what else we got. We got some homies in the comments. As Dave would say, who's sleeping out there? We got some people waking up. It's 57 degrees Fahrenheit in Melbourne. Can't do that. Sorry. Loving the warmth. Sunny days. Wow, you're so right. My mindset is 90% personal dev and personal dream than Dream Cat token. Personal dev and personal dream. So your mindset is less about dream the character and more so about belief in whatever I'm like the dream I'm selling, right? That's just the truth. I am selling a dream. So you're into that and you're into the personal development part. Like I said, it's noticeable. You take things more deeply. You're kind of reflecting, you're becoming. So I love it. That's an added benefit of what we're doing. And my dream would be like, man, what's the power of gosh, 50 people doing that? What's the power of 7 people, right? If 7 people are posting their workout each day, dues paid, do you realize how contagious that is? If 7 people are making a motivational post, if 7 people are ambassadors of the dream, of the becoming journey, do you realize how powerful that gets? And that's the whole vision, multiplication of the masses, all built on belief. Raylan says, F Dream Cat. I'm all on the dream and the vision. And you know, to be fair, we still have to build a personality around dream. So that's the big vision too, right? Is like dream is, yeah, he's an inanimate object. He's a character. He's a picture. The reason you resonate with a real meme coin, like a Giga Chad, you're like, oh, I remember that funny meme. It was so fun to use. There's a relationship there. There's almost no relationship with dream. So we have to build that. And ideally, people will eventually, you know, this is where you are in the stage. This is where we are. But eventually people will be like, man, whenever I think about my dreams, I think of Dream Cat. And I want to associate myself with the character who makes all of his wildest dreams come true, because I too am a dreamer. I too want to make all my dreams come true. And that's why I resonate with Dream Cat. Well, that is a frequency. That's a frequency that we put off, a resonancy. We're here for the dreamers of the world. And most people in crypto are dreamers, some more than others. Some just come for the money. They don't understand that there are success principles that will guarantee your success. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm Dev. I can only say so much. But in my opinion, the reason I come with so much enthusiasm, the reason I'm so hopeful for the future, the reason I talk about riches all the time, I got to tell you guys the McLaren story too. And now we got another dreamer in the building. Amos just woke up. Rise and shine. Wait, no, you didn't. It's like 4 a.m. You're up early, man. You set an alarm clock before the alarm clock. I got to tell you guys some stuff about McLarens before I finish. Really synchronistic. Ooh, if you didn't catch it in the Telegram today. So talking about Raylan, talking about the people, talking about, I think I lost my train of thought. We'll give up. Lost it. Got distracted because Amos is cool. Bubba Gump says, I watched Wonka the musical with the kids. This is a W family man, by the way. I don't have a family yet. But for those family-oriented people, that's why we're closed on Sundays. Respect to the family time. I think, you know, when I do have the wife and kids, I want to make time for them. So all the respect on W Family Man. Took one guy in a dream. Wonka the musical. So let me see what this is. Wonka the musical. Is this like brand new? Is this Willy Wonka? Maybe it has a different name. Oh, is it just this Wonka 2023? Oh, this is this Timothy Chalamet, I think? Yes, it is. Okay. I see what Bubba's talking about. He's talking about this right here. I want to give you guys a visual. So this is recommended viewing, you say, eh? Let's take a gander at that. Bubba Gump knows things. This is what he's talking about. He says, guys, you got to see this. Oh, you can't see anything. You got to see this. Wonka. Let's read the synopsis. With dreams of opening a shop in a city renowned for its chocolate, a young and poor Willy Wonka discovers that the industry is run by a cartel of greedy chocolatiers. Interesting. So it was a good movie, huh? I guess they tried to make a rebuild and put a spin on it. I remember seeing the previews and I was like, eh. But if you liked it and you think it's good, then maybe I'll give it a watch. I do like dream movies. I also like mind-bending movies like The Matrix and Interstellar. Cool, man. Cool. Sweet. Okay. Oh, cool. Getting you to feel it. Well, hey, feeling is a secret. Okay, cool. See, this is how the world works. This is also how meme coins work. You just choose to trust someone's opinion because you like know them. Like, oh, dude, trust me. Like, you think it's dumb, just check out what it is. I say, all right, dang, dude, if you insist. I do like movies, so all the power to it. Sweet. Okay. Let's say who that 20,000 winner is. Let's do that real quick. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. I'm going to roll a dice in the Telegram. We're looking for a number 1 through 6. Raylan is number 1 and 2. Overperformer. And let's see what we got. 1 through 6. Who's going to get 20,000? Dream. 6. It is Bubba Gump. You finally set up that wallet. Bubba, imagine if you, all these times, if you never listened, you never set up that wallet, you would have missed like 200K, 300K by now. So I'll send you that 20K and secure the bags, sir. Congrats. Okay, now, if anyone else wants to chime in, share anything, be my guest. We'll bring it up on the floor. But I want to tell you a cool dream moment, since this is Dreamer's Library, right? Isn't this what we're allowed to do? You're welcome, dude. Thanks for hanging out with us. Like I said, you pick your best stream. Because I was so impressed that you shared out the last one that I want to make it to one and just, be present. So next week, just pick one that means the most to you, and I'll come to that one. Salute, my good sir. Okay. You want to share anything? Share it. I want to share a story with you guys. This is the Dreamer's Library. I feel like we have permission to talk about dreams and how some of the work, okay? The work. I'm a student of the game. Congrats to everyone here learning. You're becoming a student of the game too. You're getting exposed to the things. And as they wear off on you, as they get like embedded in you, you become a product of the teachings. Once you embrace the teachings, once you do them, strange things start to happen. Some call these synchronicities. Some call these luck. Some call these big breaks. Some call these divine moments. But they happen when you get in the motion, when you buy into, I guess, the principles, you could say. So in my case, these have been ramping up more and more and more. This is where, I remember what I was talking about. I was saying the reason I'm so optimistic, the reason I'm so excited is pretty much because I believe in the principles 100%, and I know that they work. And not only that, they've been talking to me. It sounds crazy. I'm not hearing voices in my head. The world has been communicating with me through what you would call synchronicities based on my intensity of knowing, understanding, accepting, and applying, right? Man, it really is belief. You got to keep that delusional belief. Man, you really do need to brainwash yourself. Read the script each night. Think about it. Visualize it. And the world is responding. And this is why I believe that something big is about to happen in my life. Shout out to Cameron. Cameron always says, something big is coming. He's helping. He's helping manifest it forward. Something big is coming. I felt this way, I don't know, maybe like a year ago. And a lot of big things did happen, but I feel like something big's happening again. I've been seeing, I'm going to get a little weird on you guys again, a little woo-woo, and I'm going to tell you about these McLarens. Since I've lived where I live now, 7 months, there's lots of clocks around, but I have an alarm clock. And I've never, people talk about 11:11, right? I'm not even that much into that stuff, but people talk about it nonetheless. I've never seen 11:11 on that clock before, like waking up in the afternoon, in the evening. I've never seen it on there before. Maybe because I'm never paying attention. I've never seen it. About 2 weeks ago, I had a really important thought that was relating to my dream, like a huge thought. It was like, whoa. And I said, let me see what time it is. Not to like check, like it was just by chance. It was like, oh yeah, big thing. And I look at the clock and it says 11:11. And I smiled. I was like, okay, all right. I see it. I see you. Then a week later, like 3 days ago, it happened again for the set. Now, maybe my awareness is higher, but I don't check that clock. I use it to wake up in the morning. I look at my phone. I look in the, the kitchen, whatever, car. I don't look at that clock. Then same thing, had like another huge dream related thought, glanced at the clock again, like a week later, same thing, 11:11. I was like, whoa, I took note of this. I take notes of the synchronicity. So I was like, okay, that's a little cool or weird. 2 weeks ago as a dreamer, 3 weeks ago as a dreamer, I had shared that I was painting my big life dream journey, and I'm not really materialistic. I don't need a house or a car yet. Like, I don't really care. I want to travel. I don't need a new car. But I said, when I'm trying to picture my future great self, it's blurry because I have not given any solid thing. Okay, I'm probably driving some fast car. It's probably black, but what model? I have no idea. And because it wasn't specific, there was no image. So I acknowledged, in order to make my dream future vision more clear, I got to get some clarity. So I basically went mentally car shopping and I said, I'm going to look at all the cars. What car is for me, right? And I made a post a few of you guys saw. And basically I settled on a black McLaren. I think it's a 765 LT, something like that. That was the car. I was like, by the way, price doesn't matter. You don't pick based on what's realistic. You pick based on your desire. This is what dreamers do, by the way. The world is a selection. Life is a selection. Let's just say, I'm going to deviate for a second. I'm bad at this. I think of a lot of examples. Let's just say you like ice cream. They go to the store and they give you strawberry ice cream. Who would want strawberry ice cream outright? And you're like, dude, I love ice cream, strawberry ice cream. Thanks. But I really wanted chocolate cookie dough. I really wanted cookie dough with chocolate chip or whatever. If you accept the strawberry, then you're just telling the world, hey, I'm okay with this is just whatever, ice cream. You kind of get what you get, whatever. But if you are so lasered in on your standard of what's acceptable, of what you will receive in your life, then you send it back. You're like, no, I didn't ask for strawberry. I asked for chocolate chip. It's on your menu. I want chocolate chip. So you say, no strawberry, chocolate chip. This is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. This is like, you get what you want. You get what you order, right? So when you're shopping, don't shop based on price and realism and your job and how many dollars you'd have to make above this pay raise in order to buy this. That is the belief box of the reality. Beliefs are what keep you boxed in. Shop based on your desire. The world will find a way to match this desire. Okay, the world will find a way to make it happen. So shop based on that. So anyway, yeah, the car I'm shopping for is in the dream vision is $450,000. And so I had a thought that came up about 3 weeks ago. And then I said, I want to get more close to my dream. I feel it. I want to get closer. So I looked up, I'm like, man, let me go to the McLaren dealership in Orlando, right? I'm in Florida. I said, let me go to the McLaren dealership in Orlando. I want to look up these, I see Coiny. Let's be nice to him. No, I got to stay focused. He's in the chat. He doesn't realize we're still live. He's asking questions. I'm like, let me go to this McLaren dealership in Orlando. Like, I got to get, I want to get more embedded with my dreams. I want to sit behind it. I want to see them up close. I want to make it more real. And I'll even tell you a different end of the story. This is everything I'm doing right now. Maybe you can benefit from this, but I'm making it as real as I can. And so I did that like 5 days ago. I Googled, Orlando McLaren, so-and-so miles away, not that far. It's real close to me. I was like, yeah, I got to go there. Then the post office has been sending me something, and they keep like, I had to go in there, then they missed it, and tax season, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what it is. I have to sign for it. And so I went to the post office for the third time today, not because I wanted to, like, I shouldn't even been there. It was just a random fluke. And then on the way, I started seeing nice cars. And I was like, oh yeah, that's nice. What is that? Like a Corvette. And I started seeing the other cars that I shopped for before. Do I want a Corvette that looks like this? It's like 80,000. It still looks sporty. Is it a Lamborghini? Is it a Tesla? Whatever. And I saw them drive by and I said, oh yeah, that's a nice car. And I used to not stare at them. And now I stare at them. I'm not afraid to stare at them. I'm like, I know what I want. I want to see it. I want to feel it when it drives by. Like, yeah, that's basically just me. It just is. I don't know what to say. Like, that's just me. That's just my reality. It's easy. It's not even that much. Like, it's all here, right? So I see this Corvette and I'm like, oh yeah, that's nice. But I was like, nah, I just don't want that. I don't want the Corvette. Like, it's cool, but like, it's just not for me. And I kind of just like, yeah, whatever. And I'm making my way. And then I was like, oh wow, like, what is that? Is that like a Porsche? I was like, oh, that's pretty nice. Porsche isn't for me either, but that's nice. And then I think I saw either a Lamborghini or a Ferrari parked. And I was like, bent my neck and I'm looking at it, right? I was like, ooh, like that's pretty nice, but Lamborghini, whatever. And then as I'm trying to find a parking spot for, the post office, I'm like, wow, it's really, really busy, whatever. And then I see it parked. I said, oh, that's it. There it is right there. There it is right there. The McLaren. And not everyone has, gosh, if you're tuning in from Nigeria, you're probably not going to see McLaren. So power and proximity and being certain places, you got to visualize more. But I saw it and I got really excited. And I said, yeah, oh, yeah, okay. This is why I was supposed to come to the post office or whatever. So then, because there's so much traffic, I don't make it to the post office. I don't get there. But I said, you know what? I never come to this kind of stuff, but they're having a car show. I must have just got brought here by like chance, destiny, whatever. So I'm just going to park and look around. Perfect. And it was perfect for me because Orlando McLaren brought all their cars to this event. So I had this idea 4 or 5 days ago, like, oh, I need to go there. I need to see the cars. But, it's a little uncomfortable because you don't want to say, don't waste your time on me. I'm not buying today. But they were like brought to me and I was brought to them. And I got to look up close and look at them, like look through the window in an ideal situation, just stare in and look at them. I said, oh, I like this. And this did a couple things. And there's one other thing that happened. A couple things it did is, one, it reminded me of what I don't want. I saw Lamborghinis, I saw Vipers, I saw Porsches, I saw Ferraris, I saw BMW i8s, I saw the Back to the Future car, DeLoreans, I saw other supercars, and I said, cool, all great and dandy. Certain Ferrari looks cool, but I'm just going based on what I'm most attracted to. It's the McLaren, whatever. McLaren. And so that thing gave me clarity. I said no to all those other things. I got crystal clear. Like, this is what it is. I saw it. I felt it. I was next to it. But the other thing that happened to me is as I was walking up, this is another sign in my take. As I'm walking up from the street, the first song I hear is "Sweet Dreams Are Made of This." To me, that's a sign. Because sure, they could have played, it could just be a coincidence. And this is what you're going to hear from people talking like this. People who aren't all the way in call these things coincidences. But when they stack up in divine timing, in my whole life so far, I used to want a Tesla. I stopped caring for 2 years. What are the chances that 2 weeks after picking the car, suddenly I see they're all just brought to me? What are the chances of that? Like the timing. is just weird. To me, this is the world talking back, replying in these crazy ways to your desires, to the dominant thoughts of your mind, realigning, because it's all about frequency, right? Pulling the strings, reconnecting, redirecting, and bringing it to pass. Interesting. So I had to share that. With you. I thought that was crazy. So if you go back in the Telegram, you can see a few of the cars. You can hear the voice note where I start making a voice note to the dreamers, and then it's like room, room. You can hear it right behind me. So cool thing that happened today. Cool story. Synchronistic, as is life, as is your dreams. But I think that's all we got, dreamers. It's Saturday. Great Saturday, 10:53. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, whether you're on the other side of the world, if you're in the States. Anything else to share with you guys? I'm not sure I do. I'm just happy to be here. I appreciate you guys popping in, tuning in. El Gato says, awesome history, awesome, maybe the story, the understanding, right? And here's the thing. On the way, we just kind of have to like blindly believe. But once it happens, I may be able to back, like, these stories may have been moments. Like, what if that McLaren is only 3 months away? What if it is? What if it is just 3 months away? It's like, man, the signs they were telling me, and they reinforce too, because it's like you feel one kind of way, but then when you get a sign from the world, if you choose to believe it, it raises your belief up. And I've had this happen. It's happening all over the place. It's happening to me nonstop. I've never had more synchronicities in my life than I'm having right now. Off the charts. P.T. Barnum was another one. But anyway, it's not even about me. I'm just I'm on the stage, obviously, so I'm telling you guys about dreams. But all I'm saying is I've really tapped in. I've really applied. I'm learning so many things, and I'm feeling so enlightened and empowered to feel like it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. And I share in the dream community with you all this optimism, and hopefully it's contagious. Hopefully you can pick up on it and start believing that for you in your own life. And maybe what you'll find is when you too get into the feeling is the secret. If you get into the feeling, the state, the vibration of your dreams, perhaps you will begin to see things that are so impossible to you. So like, Raylan, we've talked about the ladybug before, right? I brought up ladybug and you're like, whoa, I was just talking to someone today about ladybugs. No one talks about ladybugs and you bring it up here. What are the chances of that? Great point, Raylan. What are the chances of that? Slim. And when you start to see these things, they reinforce your belief. They make you a little bit hopeful, wishful. I hate using those because I said we don't hope, we don't wish, we dream. We make it real. It's not out of our hands. It's in our hands. It's in our power. We're creator beings. But like, I don't know, it like fuels you. And maybe that's the point of it. So synchronicities, but appreciate you all. Bubba, I'll get you your supply. Satoshi, the invitation is, lifetime. If you're hanging around, you can get it whenever. Appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in with us on Dreamers Library. We still have next week, we got a juicy chapter. Time, the most precious thing in the world. This is something that haunts me. Signs right behind me. Time is money. Take the risk or lose the chance. I'm like, man, the world is just more signs, right? That's the thing that I need is the urgency, flip of the switch. And I'm getting there. So that's next week. Time, the most precious thing in the world. But hey, if you guys want to pop in, get more involved, and you're already a dream bag holder, and you want to be on the inside with me, this doesn't need to be solo. If you want to be on here in voice, or if you're daring enough to be on video, we still have 16 more chapters to go. That's like a while. That's like 4 months. So maybe it's too much of a commitment, but if you want to be a part of it, you can be on the back end with me. Get the book Truthful Living, or wait for the next book. So anyway, tally ho, lots of love, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great weekend. I'll be hanging in the chat for a little. That'll do it, guys. I just want to take a moment to send my gratitude. Thank you to all the dreamers who show up here, who support, who dream with us. I want to remind you that the mission here is not just meme coinery and, hey, come show up and waste your time. We're on a mission here. You may not understand it yet. You may not fathom or dream this big yet, but we are here to build the largest community of dreamers in the world. Laugh if you need to. Get it out of your system. All dreamers start somewhere, and it starts with a vision. What I love about the world, what I love about actually meme coins especially, is that belief is the main character. Belief is the main source of everything. It all comes down to belief. And that is what we are building the dream on. Matter of fact, if you know about the book Think and Grow Rich, it's in here. We talk about desire and consistency and compounding and all these things. We're building this mission on laws and principles that have been universal and conclusive for decades. We're building Dream in a way that has never been done before. We are a first mover, planting our flag in the space with full respect to the builders and the degens and everyone else who's built out this space. We're coming here as a newbie, as a first mover, and we're doing the opposite of everything you've ever seen. Our market cap may vary. Our holders may vary. Our volume may not be that sexy, but if you're hearing this message, you have a chance. You have a chance to watch the quantum leaps of improvement, step by step, moment by moment. It's revealed to you how the dream can change the world, how we can go from 2 believers to 10 to 1,000 to 2 to, and as it goes on and on, the dream becomes more and more undeniable. You know, there's actually 3 specific things that we're going to do that set us apart. And that's this. Number 1, we're building on unshakable belief. Belief is everything. Some use it. Murad uses a little bit, but we're using it at a level never before seen. We are giving you reasons to believe. We are showing in our consistency, stacking. Okay, number 1. Number 2, massive action plans. Some people have done them. Print out flyers, dress up in a chicken suit, go crazy. I've done these before. They make dreams come true. I've done them going 60%, 70% in. What could it look like if we go all in? What could it look like if 1,000 dreamers participate in massive action plans? I see a future that is undeniable, that is unstoppable. Why? Because the ticker is golden. It's dream. It's universal. It beats time. It goes for any sex, any religion. Everyone has a dream. But guess what? 97% of those people aren't going to see it come to pass. They don't have what it takes. They're not willing to go the distance, which is why so many have come to the dream and left. Because for most, seeing is believing. But if you're listening to this message now, there's a very good chance that you happen to be a visionary, or luck has found you and you are in the right place at the right time. It would be criminal of me not to encourage you to take a look at Dream, use your best judgment, and consider buying a bag. When you paint a vision so vast as building the largest community of the dreamers in the world, doing the opposite, being a first mover, building Dream as a mascot. Did you know that that's who Dream is? Dream is a mascot. He doesn't maybe have a meme. He's not one of these OG cat memes that everyone truly loves. He isn't known yet, but he's becoming known here, the most successful cat in the world. This is a community where dreams become reality. This is a community, when it's all said and done, where you can come chase this dream together with us while simultaneously chasing your own. And to be very blunt and clear, that is exactly what I am doing in real time. And I believe that if I'm able to make my dream come true within the Dream Cat community, well, Dream is a part of that dream. And so it's like a vision on top of a vision on top of a vision. But with success, which of course I believe in myself, I do, Dream will become maybe even more than what we envisioned it to be. It's simple concepts, brick by brick, compounding consistency, 1 to 2 to 8 to 16, 32. I skipped a bunch of numbers, 120 something, stack. We appreciate you being here. We simply want to remind you of our intentions. We simply want to remind you to tap into your dream. We want to remind you to wake up, stop chasing. Perhaps the time of chasing runners is over. Perhaps a season of builders is coming. And when it comes, I don't want you to be late to the party. No one is building like Dream. Dream does not have a ceiling. If you want to investigate this yourself, I encourage you to go over to the website, dreamcat.xyz, and take a look with your own eyes. Most will not. When they hear about the dream, they look at the volume, they look at the chart, they dismiss it, and they keep going. 1,000 believers, it's just math. In this 54-page PDF, we tell you reason after reason, specifically why Dream can change the game, why it's a mascot of tomorrow. We explain why I'm in Orlando, right? Why I'm here. It's for the dream. Check it out. Take a look. Do your own research. Buy, don't buy. We're indifferent. It's good either way. What we really want is for you to chase your dream and make it come true. And if you can do that and you don't buy a single token, we will win. Thank you guys for hanging with us. We hope to see you next week, every single Thursday, 7 p.m. EST. Next week, invite in a friend. Retweet it out. Share it. Are you really a dreamer? Why is your PFP a dog when it could be Dream Cat? Shout out to the dog. Shout out to my friends. Fine. Thank you guys. Take care. We'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.